So, you clicked on a channel called Explain Capitalism, probably because someone sent you here, or maybe because you found it on Reddit. Now, it's anybody's guess what you're going to be presented with, but I think it has something to do with capitalism. So let's begin with that. Let's try to answer the question, what is capitalism? But first, we need to talk about consistent and inconsistent answers. There are times when if you want an answer, all you have to do is ask. Sometimes the answer you get is 100% truthful, at least if seen through the lens of the majority. Let's say your name is Lord Quack McQuackington of Quackshire. If I ask your mum after we get out of bed, she will tell me exactly that. If I ask your imaginary girlfriend, same thing. If I ask the guy who was bullying you in middle school enough times, the mirror will eventually give me the same answer. At the end of the day, this is a fact that nobody can deny. It is straightforward, if not simple, and there is not much room for debate. Let's call this a consistent answer, because your name is always Quack McQuackington. But there are times when an answer can't be 100% truthful. People are looking at the facts through their own lenses, trying to make sense of the world around them, and their brains automatically twist facts for them, ignoring the other side. This is true everywhere around us, from the inconsequential blue dress white dress war of 2015 to the political landscape around us. And the way the brain twists things, the way it frames things, is not inconsequential. A frame, especially in the art of arguing, is a powerful tool because it steers the conversation in a certain way and manner. Frames help us understand the perspectives from which we are viewing a certain subject. For example, framing sexuality as an urge gives it a more naturalistic feeling, making it more primal and harder to understand. Framing sexuality as a social construct lends structure and meaning to our sexual interactions with others. These are all called inconsistent answers because they vary from view to view, from frame to frame, and from person to person. And that is why it is all the more important to set a groundwork frame for the rest of our work on this channel and talk about multiple inconsistent definitions of capitalism. The very first definition of capitalism I ever heard was a system for people who like stuff. Mind you, I was 11 at the time and I didn't really listen to the context. I just went back to drawing ticks on my economics book. Now, this is an idea that is too minimalistic and at the same time doesn't really explain the system, its inner machinations, or anything for that matter, other than the people who advocate for it. This definition frames capitalism, an economic system, as a system of free consumption of, well, stuff. It says that people who like their phone, alcohol, people who like ice cream and clubs can only have these things in a capitalist system, therefore every other system is not even worth looking into. But this definition is fundamentally wrong because it conflates capitalism and production. What I mean is that, for example, there was enough alcohol for people to get drunk in the Holy Roman Empire in 1200 after Christ, in a system of production that was feudalist, something which we will have to explore in the next video, because I don't have the time for it. All of this is used as an argument to appeal to people who are not knowledgeable in economic, sociological and political terms, because everyone likes stuff. There has to be a different definition, or more than one definition for a current economic system. So where would we find one, I wonder? Not you. Definitely not you. You 800-page monstrosity. Even the people who like you don't like you. So, Wikipedia defines capitalism as an economic system based on private ownership of the means of production and their operation for profit. This is dumb, so let's try to deconstruct this. So, the means of production, this is a very Marxist term. It means all factories, carpentries, and, well, all other means of producing, well, stuff are owned by a few private individuals instead of being shared by the people who work there or owned by the state. For example, we have Lord Quackington's rubber duck factory. He owns the machines, he owns the land on which the factory is placed, he even, in a way, owns the workers by having social power over them. That means that he gets to decide everything, from what is being produced to how it looks to where that money comes from, selling it goes. Operation for profit, on the other hand, means that these private individuals are trying to maximize the money that goes not back into production or costs, but in their pockets as individuals. This operation for profit is important for our later analysis because it gives birth to the debate between money and common good. Lord Quackington is using the profit from the rubber duck factory to buy a yacht. No, not a yacht, that's stupid. Ducks have invested a lot of millennia into perfecting their buoyancy. He buys an entire skyscraper and names it Duck Scrutcher, instead of investing the money on the homeless right in front of his new building. Capitalists will say he isn't entitled to give anyone his money. Socialists will call such a behavior unfair to the people who contribute the most in the production. But this discussion will come in the future, so please leave Quackington alone for now. Even so, this is a good definition, but I would like to add one more level to it. That is the fact that in capitalism, the ownership of capital, or if we want to be more populist, money, grants social power and status in the system. Quackington is seen as a successful individual who has a lot more influence, both through his ability to pay and his social image, on the rest of society, including politicians and the common people. On the other hand, Mr. Quackers, one of Lord Quackington's workers, doesn't receive the same treatment. Individuals that own capital are seen as more important on an individual basis than people who don't, such as the homeless and workers who don't have a direct correlation to the ownership of the means of production. They are seen as more successful and intelligent than others because money makes the world go round. Even in a more practical sense, enough money can allow you to influence politics and ideas through enough advertisement or directly paying politicians to vote for the laws you want them to pass. This can influence popular ideas, and this is why capitalism is so dangerous. But just because society thinks money makes you better, that doesn't mean that it is true. This is what this channel is about. I'm here to prove that socioeconomic systems and the current economic system in which we find ourselves has both bad and good sides to it, but the bad sides outweigh the good ones. And this is what I am all about. This was Explainable. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next week.